You are watching Top Notch TV Beyond the Lens.
A very good evening, our dear viewers. This is Let's Talk Tourism, of course, with your host, Captain Fina Morris. And today we are looking forward to make sure we know how our environment is concerned and how our environment is highly protected. So the earth does not belong to aliens, but it belongs to us people. And we must make sure that the earth is well conserved and we have no points of degradation, such that we are having sustainable and we have a proper environment we are all living in. But all this begins with the young generation that we are looking at impacting with knowledge, skills, and entire information, such that what we have started, we as the old people, the young ones are not able to put it down. So we are in the heart of Mbarara city. We are with the learners for the Wildlife Club. Basically, if we say Wildlife Club, so we know that we are with the right participants or with the right learners to bring for us or to give us credible information. But as we know that the Ministry of Education and Sports in 2020, that was in February, they released a competence-based curriculum to make sure that the young learners are able to have practical skills, be innovative, such that at the curriculum, by the time now these learners are finishing the school, they have practical skills, knowledge to make sure that they are able to compete in a global market. Now we are looking at greening environment and innovation to have green-based job opportunities for the learners. So, welcome. Let's talk tourism, and it's a pleasure having you, my dear. Okay, and it's a pleasure having you all, guys. So we are going to start with you. Okay, is your name? Yes. All right. Akampuria Gabriel Mujisha. What do you know about conservation, if we come in that particular line?
Conservation, it is just protecting something from extinction. To give more information on it, conservation, it can involve the environment,
okay,
the plants, wildlife, etc. So conservation, it involves protecting and mentoring someone. If it is a person, to conserve plants, it is just to take care of plants and make sure they are protected from extinction. So right now, when we are talking about environment, we mean keeping the environment clean and making sure it is attractive to many people. So environment should be, first of all, as you can see here, it is green. That is number one, so that it can purify the air. And two, it should not be containing many plastics. The plastics can be used to make very many crafts like flowers, flower vessels, flower vases, etc.
Okay. Yes, I see. You have a lot of information.
Yes.
But let's come to what are some of the activities that you yourself have been able to engage into around your school regarding conservation or regarding protecting the environment you have at your school?
Well, if I see a plastic around the compound, I can pick it. If it is suitable enough, I use it to make a flower. Or if not, at least if it's a plastic bottle, I can use it to make a funnel or a filter, so that I can sell it and people use it in their day-to-day work. But if it is like a polythene paper, I can gather many of them, make a ball, and give it to some of the boys who like playing football here, so that they can enjoy their life and we can keep the environment clean. Thank you.
Okay, so which means you always gather the polythene papers,
yes,
craft out balls, and then the learners start to play.
Yes.
So what happens, when you're playing these so-called karere, at the times you find the boys have been able to use that ball a lot, and a point reaches, polythene paper starts to come out. What again do you do to those polythene papers that have come out from that ball?
Well, when they come out, they appear to be waste and cannot be recycled anymore. So what I do, I gather them, put them in a dustbin. Then I take the dustbin to the lower side of the school. I deposit it in one place, but I do not burn it, because once I burn, it will destroy the ozone layer. So the school has a company called EcoServe, which comes here with one of its vehicles, gathers the plastic and takes them for more treatment and recycling.
Okay, thank you. Tell us your names.
So, Amanya Daniela, they are my names.
Amanya Daniela.
Yes.
Yeah, which class?
P6M.
P6M.
Yes.
What's the meaning of M?
M is the stream. Our school, different classes have streams. Now, for example, my stream is P6M.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember I was also in P6S by then. You have S?
Yes, we have S.
Okay. So, what have you learned in keeping your environment clean?
Keeping my environment clean, I've learned creativity. Once I'm walking around the school and I'm passing, I find polythene bags, I find plastic bottles. The scholars they pack their sodas and they dispose their bottles. So what I can do, I get a polythene paper and I can use it to make flowers. Flowers can beautify the compound and they also help in many things. The plastic bottles, they can be recycled and they can be used to make other things that are important.
Okay, let's come now at your home. Let's come at your homes and the communities where you're coming from. Uh, how have you been able to contribute to the keeping of your home's environment clean, despite of what you're learning from the school? Are you transferring the same knowledge at your home or at the community where your home is, or everything you leave the knowledge here?
No, I transfer the knowledge to my home. When I'm at home and I find there my fellow children who don't know about the conservation of the environment, I can tell them that let's make this group, we organize a special occasion and we pick all the polythene bags, we go and make playing materials which we shall be keeping well, not to destroy our environment.
Like for example, what do you always maybe you said you pick material, you do materials from the waste that you always pick.
Yes.
So what materials have you been able to use and to make sure that you use them as learners or as peoples at your community for you to be playing with?
Now, like I can make a doll, and I can make like if I pick like a bottle, maybe it might be having a straw. So I can use a straw to make like earrings and to make like flowers, which I will use to decorate the sitting room at my home. And I use it for many things, not for only the playing materials.
Okay, when you're doing all those, what do your parents always say?
My parents, they pay for me school fees, and when they see I go to school and I come back, they say that at least my child, you've learned something from where you've been studying.
What do they say about the items that you always craft out? Do they support you by buying them? What do they do regarding the items you craft out from the plastics that you always maybe pick from your compounds?
When they are going to work, they can take them and help me to sell them. They can say that keep them in a safe place, and maybe like tomorrow I will take them to the shop and I bring your money back.
Okay, do you think if you still proceed doing these items, are you able to secure maybe a profession or like a job Or can you be able to be a green entrepreneur in that line when it comes to your longer age or in future?
My longer age, I want to become a businesswoman. And the practical skills I'm learning, creativity, making those things, I can sell them to get money in that life that I will get in the future.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Angel Gabriel. Yes?
Yeah, usually,
Are you an angel?
no, usually I tell my fellow colleagues that don't call me an angel, because all human beings on earth and no one is good except God alone.
Okay, that was nice. That was a nice comment. And now, Gabriel, let's come to Wildlife Club. How has Wildlife Club impacted you to be a conservationist,
Well,
despite of what you just told us?
the Wildlife Club, first of all, the Wildlife Club, once I went for one of the competitions in one of the schools, I saw the very many materials in the displayed on the table, and I was like, that is materials. Maybe one day I should also conserve the environment. So when I reached home, I saw some plastic bottles of Renzol. So other soda bottles. I saw them scattered. So I was like, let me make something. The soda bottles, I got them and I cut them into two parts. The lower part where the water normally sits when you're holding it, I turned it into these communication cups. There's a hole at the bottom of the bottle. You tie a rope, and when you stretch the rope, you connect the two cups. You'll be able to hear the sound traveling through the rope. So that can be used by people if a person is far away and they can't hear each other. They can throw the cup, he gets it, and they communicate with each other. Very important things. Then the top part, I removed the bottle cap and that string that can be below it. Then I used it as a funnel so that when people are fetching water from a tap using a jerrycan, I can put the funnel so that all the water is gathered into the jerrycan. Or I could use it or I could get another bottle, cut off the top part, leaving most of the part on the top, and I use it as a filter that uses soil. So you can use soil to filter water. You don't need to buy these other sieves that are plastic. Then when they get old, you throw them away. No, you can just use the top part of a bottle, get inside, because you have to put in different layers of soil, and then you put like a piece of cloth or something at the bottom, so that once you pour dirty water on top, it gets filtered through the layers of soil, and it comes down and it is very clean. Then you will just get it, boil it and drink it. And the final part, which is, you know, when you buy a Rosary bottle or a soda bottle, after opening the cap, there is that ring that remains down. So, and it can stick to the bottle. And it's normally the one that, so a person, when he's trying to open the bottle, he finds that he has a flip cap. So I just get that ring and I get many of them and I make a rope. I think some of you at home have been doing it. So after using that ring, I gather many of them, and even my sibling has been gathering them to make a beautiful rope so that people can use them and play with them at home. Or I can get all those materials, I sell them at the shop, and the people are like, wow, these things are amazing. Then when they ask me how I made them, I just say I made them from my environment and community. Then I will even teach other people to also conserve the environment. Eventually, all the people in the world will be conserving the environment and the world will be almost like heaven. Very organized, very neat, etc. etc.
No. I'm giving you a handshake. Thank you. Now, Gabriel, back on you. Uh, what do you think? You can just hold it. You can just hold it. What do you think the wildlife club of your school needs to do that is not doing?
And I can see the wildlife crab. It is also, yes, in the environment it is doing it well, but there are some people who don't know how to use the materials they use, and they don't know that they were just got from the environment. So they litter the bottles everywhere and put it in bags. And the wildlife crab, it is not well that engaged in teaching people.
It's not well engaged.
Not well engaged. So I recommend that a wildlife club some should involve a department which teaches people through talk shows or radio talk shows, so that they can teach more people through television. They can telecast the information, and they can use the knowledge in the environment around them. So once they do that, many people, as I said before, will be able to know how to use the materials well, and they won't have to litter the environment, so that they can use them. But even if they can even use them in business, so they won't have to use them at all, and they can even sell them to get income, so that they can buy more materials to use while making more materials. So you can buy when you find like a polythene bag, you can just dispose it in the trash can and take it to and you take a environment conserving company that will collect the litter and take it for treatment. This is a common mistake that people do nowadays. They burn the rubbish, especially plastics, and that is dangerous because there is a layer in the sky called the ozone layer. So it contains a gas called ozone that, as you can see, when the sun rays hit you, they don't normally put a much impact on you, because the sun rays come with what we call ultraviolet rays, and or rays. So when they hit your skin, they can cause serious skin infections like skin cancer. So the zone, what it does, it filters out all those UV rays and brings out pure sunlight so that it can be used by your skin. So instead of burning plastics, you can recycle them, or if they cannot be recycled, it can be taken to other companies to make more useful items like jackets, helmets, or plastic helmets, etc. etc.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What do you want to become in the future?
Me, I would like to become a businessman, and again a farmer who uses the environment to make farm equipment, so that I can preserve the environment, and also make money, so that I can buy more materials to use to conserve the environment and teach people how to conserve the environment.
Thank you so much. What is your advice to the parents regarding in line with environmental conservation?
Parents should take their children to school. Like me, I came to school, and that's how I joined the Wildlife Club, which has helped me to learn that I should conserve the environment. So I advise parents, those who don't want to take their children to school, they should take their children to school, so that children should learn environmental conservation. Welcome.
All right, so we have seen what the young minds get to know or understand as far as environmental conservation is concerned. So this is my task and your task to ensure that your children that are surrounding you are well versed with the information regarding environmental conservation, to make sure that they have let's look at practical avenues that your children are going to use, such that different wastes are being removed from the ecosystem. We are practicing eco-friendly measures, for example, planting trees, to make sure that we have different things that we are putting in line, such that the children are in the know. Now, let's go to see what their patron, the one who is taking good care of them, what he's saying. Don't leave your screen. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Abanyambara ningashafutyeka byotorere Mbarara kambanjure Isima Shopping Center. Isima Shopping Center nashanga umurembo rwito rwambara umutaxi park naguze ibintu nyamingi ebiri perfumes, handbags, capes, watches, toys z'abana bato, necklaces, earrings, belts, lipsticks, wallets, wenda kumanya bitukiraho enamba ziri ahano eja kuba nomubeera nimubaasa kuba nimukwatagana.
From green innovations to recycling products that are being created from waste management. At Mbarara Municipal School, they are not only looking at impacting learners with knowledge, but with practical knowledge. As we know that the curriculum, the competence-based curriculum, the CBC, is looking at practical skills or the practical knowledge that is being awarded to the learners. So, Wildlife Club around and with the management of the school, they are looking at having these initiatives incorporated, and the learners need to have this type of mindset and practical knowledge such that they can be responsible citizens to fight for our own creation that we have within the country. So with me, we are going to have a small one-on-one with the one who is taking good care of these learners as far as practical knowledge is concerned, or the patron for the Wildlife Club of Mbarara Municipal School. From what you're seeing, there is this. I have these beads, okay? I have these innovations. So all these are being created by the kids. And the one in front of us is the one behind all this game. Sir, you're most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Please, you may introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Bananuka Dithan Beingana. I happen to be the patron of Wildlife Club at Mbarara Municipal School, and I'm all the knowledge, all in all, everything behind this new innovation. I'm very happy to be part of this, and I welcome our visitors tonight for having chosen Mbarara Municipal School as one of the schools that you should visit to see how we are handling waste management in as far as Uganda Wildlife Club is concerned.
All right. So my simple question is, one, how are you helping these young learners to incorporate in conservation knowledge at such an early age as a patron?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Actually, we found it very easy to teach these learners on how they should manage waste, especially getting the knowledge even right away from their homes. When you ask these children, they already know that at home they are not supposed to litter anywhere. And when they come to school, we just build on that. Right away from the mother environment where they are born, definitely they know that you are not supposed to poo-poo anywhere. The places where you're supposed to put your poo-poo must be the pit latrine, or else if you have a toilet. The same applies to this school of ours. We have pit latrines at the same time toilets. When children come to school, we show them how they are supposed to dispose their human waste. Secondly, when it comes to the other wastes like polythene papers, like even the papers that they tear from their books, we have managed to provide the dust bins or the waste bins where they are able to collect this rubbish temporarily, and then the rubbish is later taken to the rubbish pit. As a school, we happen to have the EcoServe as a company, which helps us in taking some of the litter which we don't need. We first pick what we need, what we feel that we should use, like what you're seeing around that we use to make all these things. Then the litter that is not needed by the school is taken by that sanitation company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means you do sorting of the waste before they are being taken.
Definitely we sort.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, let's come to activities, Mr. Dithan.
Yes,
what
sir.
activities are you engaging with the learners? We have the CBC, okay,
Yes.
the competence-based curriculum,
Yes, sir.
that that wants practical knowledge or
Yes.
practical skills.
Yes.
So how are your activities aiding to such?
Actually, that's a very good question, Mr. Morris. As a school, I even think that's why we have managed to excel consistently in the primary living examinations. Because these learners are not only versed with knowledge in class, but they have skills.
Okay.
Whereby it becomes very simple for you to ask our learner how the skills they get from outside classroom environment can be able to be applied in their daily life. For instance, a learner who studies from Mbarara Municipal School and happens to join the Uganda Wildlife Club is very much innovative, very much creative, to the extent that they are able to make, you can imagine what I'm holding. I'm holding sandals, but these sandals are made out of the boxes. The boxes we are seeing in the environment to be wasteful, to be nothing, only to be burnt. These children are very wise, they cannot burn such. They are able to make some sandals out of this, and thus equipping themselves with that skill that even outside the classroom they are able to survive. Secondly, when you consider like this is a bottle,
Okay.
that these children decided to design in a way that is very much attractive. A bottle which you can even put in your compound or even on your dining table. A bottle which you can even use in an office.
I've always been seeing even in decorations.
Yeah.
Events.
Yes, sir. So these children are very wise in a way that not only teaching them 1 + 1 on the chalkboard, they can even know that if I get this one thread red in color, I add it with another one thread white in color, I can make something very tangible, very beautiful, and I even happen to sell it. So you can imagine if your child, if at all is your child, your own child, and decides to make this, brings it home, already this is something that is income generating.
You're right.
You may even sell this and earn some income. So these children are able to survive even outside the classroom environment because of the skills they learn from the Uganda Wildlife Club. Yeah.
That now takes me to my next question.
Yes, sir.
How are these, do you think these activities or these skills they are able to earn from the Wildlife Club
Yes, sir.
can be of great importance to them as far as generating income, or can they be able to create their own businesses and these learners be self-reliant other than job seeking?
Very much possible. If at all you can see what I'm holding now, these children, already this one is incomplete. A child was trying to make a basket. Most of us have been using polythene bags to carry some things from shops. But you can imagine if you have such a basket, nice looking basket, very decorated, and you happen to take it to a given market. You are shopping maybe mangoes, you are shopping maybe oranges, whatever things that you feel like you should shop and take home. Already this is a new innovation attained from the Uganda Wildlife Club, especially here at Mbarara Municipal School. These children can use such in their daily life. You can even imagine someone tried to make this nice basket even with some zip. You just need to provide some little money to buy a zip where they can even put here, which they can even put here, and they happen to make their own bags. You find a child in the compound putting on this, keeping in his or her mathematical set.
Excellent, yes.
It becomes very difficult for a thief to come and steal a set that is hung in within her neck, the child's neck, of which it is a new innovation from the Uganda Wildlife Club. In addition to that, these children are very wise. They are able to make some beads, and you can imagine this is already under, it is still being decorated because there are no more colors that have already been added. These children are very wise. They mix in colors as it's just a matter of providing. And in their creativeness, they are able even to pick from the environment. You don't even need to buy these ones for them. They already know. If you send these learners and say tomorrow, whoever sees maybe the banana fibers, bring them, they are able to carry. You can even see this. You tell them tomorrow, whoever sees maybe an empty tin, carry and bring, they are able to carry. You can even see this. These things that you seem to be seeing as if they are no longer needful, we no longer need them in the environment, but these children are very wise. They are able to carry them, they bring them here, we even put in some soil, we plant in some flowers, and we put them outside in the compound. Some flowers are already here. Now, these children are very wise in a way that if you don't even send, if you spend some time without sending them to bring such, they will ask you, teacher, why is it that today we have now taken a long time without bringing some things to use in our Uganda Wildlife Club? Very much innovative. So the children have already learned that minus sitting within classroom, they can break their boredom by making such things outside the class.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
Yes, sir.
So now, how about the challenges maybe you're facing as the club, and how do you think wildlife clubs of Uganda can come in and support, or the school management itself can be able to support the environmental initiatives you're trying to bring out on board, because there are always some challenges in everything.
Well, thank you so much for your question again. Actually, before I cross on to the challenges, as Mbarara Municipal Wildlife Club, we are even able to plant trees.
Okay.
We have managed to plant trees in our compound, and we thank Uganda Wildlife Club under the regional coordinator, Mr. Morris, for having provided us with some of these trees. The trees we planted in our compound, you're the ones who provided it to us. And we thank you so much. We cannot take that one for granted.
Okay.
Now, in addition to that, one of the challenges that we still have is that we are limited by the space. Otherwise, if we had enough space, we would be planting each and every type of a tree in our compound for these learners to see. We are actually being challenged by these learners. There are some tree species which are no longer in existence this side, which we would be even importing from other regions, and we bring them to our region for these children to see. Some are herbal, we can use them for herbal medicine, and even others, we teach them in class, but the children themselves don't know how they look like. So we find it is a challenge for having limited space where we can even be able to plant more trees. As a school, we wouldn't say that we are poor not to buy more tree species, but the space is still a challenge.
Okay.
Secondly, we still have a challenge of the awareness, especially with these children. We have tried to make these children aware of what they are supposed to be doing, but you construct a given pathway for children to always use, but they still insist and pass through the vegetation which is being conserved. And you find it very difficult. We cannot be able to be anywhere to see how these children are using the environment around, but most of them, they are very destructive, especially those ones in infant classes. Very destructive. You plant grass, but within a few minutes the grass is no more. Even if you irrigate, you can even irrigate, but if the children happen to step here, we always actually irrigate during the whole days, such that by the time the children come back to class, come back to school, the grass is already grown up. But whenever they come back and you happen to give them just 1 month or even 2 weeks, the green vegetation will be normal. That's a challenge also.
Okay.
But all in all, we shall keep on sensitizing these learners on how we are going to continue conserving, especially the green environment. There is nothing beautiful like the green environment outside. Whenever you see the green environment, you feel like you should almost be lying in it because it looks very nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you
Welcome,
for
sir.
your insights. Thank you for your views.
Yes.
And we look forward to be having these initiatives being brought to school as wildlife clubs of Uganda. And we will be so much happy to see the management of the school and the entire school community being engaged in such a kind of initiatives. Otherwise, it was a pleasure having you. Until we meet next time.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Abanyambara ningasabye byotorere Mbarara kambanjure Isima Shopping Center. Isima Shopping Center nashanga umurembo rwito rwambara umutaxi park naguze ibintu nyamingi ebirumuta perfumes, handbags, capes, watches, toys z'abana bato, necklaces, earrings, belts, lipsticks, wallets. Wenda kumenya bikuciraho enamba ziri hano eja kuba nomutera mbasaka nimukwatagana.
Of course, nothing becomes so successful if the administration or the management is not concerned. And for the wildlife club within this school needs to be properly functioning, then of course the management has to be in control. With me, I have someone from the administration who is going to share with us about the incorporation of the management into the club activities such that the club activities are thriving. But before that, Mr. John, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
And we are glad to have you on Let's Talk Tourism.
Thank you, sir.
So, briefly, introduce yourself to the viewers.
Yeah. Hello, viewers. My name is Ahabwe John, and I work as the deputy in charge of welfare, public relations, and at the same time, I work as a tour coordinator in as regards to the education study tours.
All right. So now let's come to the context on how you are integrating the administration within the club activities. What support are you providing to the club such that the conservation initiatives or the environmental conservation within the school premises is concerned?
First and foremost, I wish to inform you that we have a club for wildlife in the school, and therefore, in the first place, that is the first recognition that we are fully engaged or indulged in the wildlife activities.
Yes.
Yeah. One, among other activities that we do have here as a school, we have it even on our timetable because our learners are involved in different activities that concern with the wildlife. For example, on the timetable, we set at least a day for the head of the wildlife club to interact with the learners and then raise awareness in as far as the activities of the club are concerned. Yeah. Secondly, we also organize study trips for these learners. We take them out in the field, and they go and they interact with the physical environment, and they get to know. They get to know what is taking place between the environment and the relationship between the animals and the plants. So they study a lot.
That brings to the point of the 3 P's, whereby we need to have the people, the planet, and the profits.
Yes.
So before they do the conservation here, they need to understand why are we telling them to conserve the environment. That's where now the element of trips come in, such that we know if we say that please conserve the tree, they'll see the value of the tree in these protected areas. And thank you so much for such initiatives. And your trips, which schools do they do Sorry, what classes do always go for the trips?
Normally, we always involve these upper classes, and the number one is the primary 5 class, which normally goes to Lake Mbulo National Park.
Okay.
And they see a lot of things from there. P6 is also involved in the trip that goes to western part of Uganda. To be very particular, we do engage with Queen Elizabeth National Park. And then the third class is P7, which goes as far as Fort Portal is concerned.
Okay.
And then they also go and see what takes place within the ecosystem of that place.
Okay, that's nice. I have been with a patron, and we went to the waste management unit, or I will call it like a workshop room. So much things were being produced by the learners, and that really impacted us as wildlife clubs of Uganda to know that some good work is being done within the school. So let's come now to the maybe I may say the job opportunities or the career opportunities that you think that these learners are able to adapt. You know, now we have the CBC program, or the competence-based curriculum that was being introduced. So what do you think are those particular job opportunities that these learners are able to scoop from the wildlife club activities from within the school, and they are able, maybe once they have developed or they have finished their studies, they're able to grab. Maybe the parents can be able to guide their learners in that particular line once they watch.
Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Now, in the first place, it is the role of the school to first shape the minds of these learners into different career guidance.
True. Right.
Yeah. One, in the first place, as we are trying to conserve the environment, we do normally intend to invite some experts from outside, like the environmentalists and conservationists, to come and talk to these learners. And from there, I believe they can get inspired and get to know the purpose or the essence of inviting them, because they bring different package which they unleash to them, and then they get awareness about the environment. Secondly, when we are going for our field trips, we normally meet there the game rangers, the tour guides, who normally give them knowledge concerning with the environment. And they also get to learn that these people who are giving them knowledge are not just there to render a service, but there is also a job opportunity here.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe from that background, these children can be inspired through those other talk shows, the wildlife quiz competitions. For example, I have ever seen you on the TV while on that very ceremony on the quiz competitions of the wildlife. So they get inspired in different ways, and I believe when these people are also talking to them, they also raise awareness on the way how they can interact with the environment, and the way how they can also look for their self-livelihood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I get to see that is it only the club patron who is into, let's say, environmental conservation within the school, or other teachers that are not in that line are able to engage themselves into that particular activities?
In the first place, the club itself, so the school subscribes to wildlife, as I have already put it. And there is no way how you can subscribe to that club without the consent of the head teacher. So I would wish to bring this one to the attention of the viewers, that the school administration, including the teachers as whole, are involved in these wildlife activities.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Maybe your last words, someone is watching as we conclude.
Yeah, the last word that maybe I would give is that conserving the environment is very good, because our children will get to learn some of the things that were there before and that are still existing today. So conservation does not only just come as a sheer or mere thing, but it is meant to continue sustaining and extending knowledge even to the future generations to come. That would be the message that I would send to the viewers, because what we have found in the national parks, if there are some activities that would actually lead to endangering or to extinction of those animals through bad practices like poaching, then we do not be in a position to find these animals that we normally go and see, these other invasive plants that we normally find in the national parks, because they were conserved, and therefore we need to sustain the legacy so that we can conserve for our future generations to come.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
It has been well said, and we need to pick a leaf from the school administration, the entire ecosystem within the school. What we are doing as far as environmental conservation is concerned in Uganda, it is our responsibility. Conservation is for all of us. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a nice show on Let's Talk Tourism. Please stay tuned until we meet next time. Bye bye.
Abanyambara ningashaveka byotorere Mbarara kambanjure Isima Shopping Center. Isima Shopping Center nashanga umurembo rwito rwambara umutaxi park naguze ibintu nyamingi ebirumuta perfumes, handbags, capes, watches, toys z'abana bato, necklaces, earrings, belts, lipsticks, wallets. Wenda kumenya bikiciraho enamba ziri hano eja kuba nomubera imbasaka nimkwatagana.
You are watching Top Notch TV, Beyond the Lens.